everybody, and welcome to a brand new Nerds United on YouTube. My name is Greg Deck These Halls Mahachko, and my co-host of the year is Mike Luther. Hello, Mike. You're looking very festive today.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be very contrasting with our backgrounds. I just have a old white background, and you have festive background.
Yep.
So, I was actually going to originally. I was going to try to put up lights, which I still might do, because I have some lights right here, but I didn't get around to it yet. So maybe next time. Who knows?
Things happen, Mike. Things happen.
It's true.
How have you been? How was your Thanksgiving? Because that's the last time we talked was Thursday before Turkey.
I was just thinking of that. Yeah, my Thanksgiving was good. Went to my brother's house. There was a small amount of people there, less than 10. We talked? We haven't talked since then. We really haven't. Okay. And anyway, so then afterwards, we had good dinner. And then afterwards, we went, my mom went to my house and we decorated my house up a little bit. At least we decorated the living room up a little bit for Christmas. So everything's good on my end. And I heard you had a little drive-through Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did curbside.
Curbside.
Yeah, my mom and dad did all the cooking, including whole pumpkin pie, and we just did Thanksgiving here at the house. My wife, my son, and I, and we spent Thanksgiving afternoon. Yeah, because Black Friday was college football. So we spent Thanksgiving afternoon. My son is we all know, it's no secret, loves dinosaurs. So we spent the afternoon after watching the last few minutes of the Macy's parade and whatnot. We watched Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Okay. I haven't seen that one in forever.
The newest one? That's the latest one.
Yeah, that's the latest one, isn't it? Yeah.
Where they discover the Indoraptor.
Yes.
So you would think that, I know kids these days are desensitized to a lot of stuff, and maybe he just loves dinosaurs so much. But the fact that dinosaurs are chowing down on people, it doesn't faze him.
Yeah. As far as kids being desensitized to dinosaurs, that was kind of like the point of Jurassic World, where there's an actual dinosaur zoo, whatever you want to call it, dinosaur exhibit with live dinosaurs, and kids are just on their cell phones. And that's what I'll tell you right now, 100% would happen if there was an actual Jurassic World. Kids would not. They would barely look up from their phones, guaranteed.
No, and I think in every parent or every couple is different, however that household makeup is. But I know, I didn't have a cell phone until I was out of high school, but it was also the year 2000 when it was the little Nokia phones.
Right.
Now obviously everybody kind of has a cell phone, but I don't know when we are going to break down and say, okay, and I hope that they're not, I hope his first cell phone is not a smartphone, just let it be able to call and text. It doesn't need, I don't know. My dad had a flip phone up until about a year ago. So I know they still make them.
By the time, and I don't know, I'm assuming he's not close to the age where you're saying he's old enough to get his own phone.
Let's see, he'll turn 5 in a couple of weeks. So
right.
I'd like to think we're at least 7 to 10 years away.
Right. By that time, what you consider a smartphone now is going to be there's going to be so much more advanced, technology. You're going to end up having to get them a smartphone. I think they're just not. They're not going to make the other tablet phones anymore. Now I'm sure there's going to be stuff where you can parental controls on it, so really he can't get on the internet and stuff like that.
Did you ever Were you a Futurama fan?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The stuff when they came back on Comedy Central. Did you watch all that?
I did, but I don't remember much about it. To be honest
So
with you.
in that first season back, a few episodes in, they had, and of course, I think when the show was initially on Fox, it was kind of pre-smartphone, and after it came back, the iPhone and all the other smart devices were out, and so their kind of mocking way of having it was called the iPhone, and it was this little device you actually shoved up, cartoon. So to shove up into
Yeah.
your eye, and it will project whatever you're looking at. You can record by doing this. It's like the Google glasses, but it's one little piece they shove it. So I'm not saying we're going to be there in 10 years, but I feel like I don't know if we're ever going to be to like the contact lens that can record things, and I don't know if we're never going to be there. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe we already are in some deep CIA or MI6 lab or something like that. I'm realizing as technology continues to advance how old I actually am and feel.
I mean, yeah. We both get older. Okay. I like the phone I have right now. It works for me. You're probably the same as me. Like, well, first of all, I can't afford it. That's number one. And number two, I really don't care to have the latest, whatever it is. The latest phone, iPhone, whatever.
My cell phone here is an iPhone 6s. So it's I think I've had it since maybe just before or just after our son was born. So about 5 years.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
I'm okay with it. It's as long as I keep it clean, keep it in this protective case. Oh, sorry, the digital background. Keep it in its protective case. It's knock on wood, it's doing me all right. But I'm feeling older. As I mentioned, I'm 38. I think you're 38 or almost 39 or something like that.
You're right on. Yes.
And my right knee, just has been really bothering me the last couple of days. And part of it is because in the last 6 months, I put on about 25 pounds. It's certainly not helping anything. But I'm doing like the one stair at a time type of treatment. And I feel like, statistically speaking, I have, I have a knee that's worse than about anybody, I know my age earlier I was thinking of a clever way of saying this, and of course it escaped me, but it's like, yeah, statistically speaking, my knee is like on par with an NFL running back. It's or the average NFL running back. That's why they get paid a lot of money for a very quick period of time, and then they get out because their knees are about to turn to mush. So
yeah, I know my knees are going to be bad, but they're not your level yet. And I hope they stay that way because I can't afford. I'll never ever be able to afford knee replacement or knee surgery or anything. So if they just get progressively worse, it's just going to be like, well, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. That's it. So as of right now, everything's fine. I mean, my body's old and achy, but nothing's like really painful. The only I have troubles with my shoulders all the time, but that's mainly when I sleep, and I sleep on my side. I cannot sleep on my back for some reason. I have to sleep on my side, and I'll sleep on one side, and then obviously because I'm a big guy, this shoulder will start hurting because I'm on this side, and then I'll roll over and I'll go on this side, and this shoulder will start hurting for a while. But okay, and eventually I just fall asleep.
This is not a. Just gonna jump right into it. When you are in bed and you're like rolling side to side, are you like taking all the covers with you, like wrapping yourself up like a giant burrito?
Oh yeah.
I can't do it. I feel confined by that. So I have enough conscious awareness even in like, my half asleep rolling over, to I will like push the blanket up in the air and like quickly roll over before it falls.
Okay, well, actually, hold on. Let me explain a little. So I'm usually not underneath the blanket. By the way, I'm sure everybody on YouTube wants to know about our sleeping habits.
I mean, I'm wearing my pajamas.
That's right. This is in my room right now. I usually have all the blankets, and I kind of like bear hug the blankets and pillows and stuff like that. So then I'm taking that with me when I'm rolling. That's how I sleep.
And that's our show, everybody. Real quick, we are talking about one comic book that we both read, you more recently than I. And it is, I think I picked it up at Twilight Comics, Swansea, Illinois, because it's an author that I'm familiar with, a writer I'm familiar with. The price was right, and it was a title that I was unfamiliar with. So tell me what you remember about The Dam.
I was almost going to say basic story, but it's really not. It's a story. It's your basic mafia story with demons. It's a mafia. Demons are in the mafia, and I'm completely blanking now on the story. I know there is. Oh, they want to get. And by the way, I might spoil some stuff. You should go read it just because read comic books because it's cool. There's a list of damned souls or lost souls, I think, and there's all different mafia families, and they want to basically they have to find this list because not only does it have the lost souls on it, but it also has the true names of the demons on it, and if you know the true name of the demon, you can control it. So it involves one guy, and I forgot what his name is already. The main character guy,
Eddie Tamblyn.
What is it?
Eddie Tamblyn.
Eddie Tamblyn, yes. He's the guy with the. I don't know if you're looking at it. He's the guy with scars all over his face, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, Eddie Tamblyn. Yeah, and he goes. It almost seems like he goes back to hell for a little bit. It's actually called Damned 3 Days, Volume 1, 3 Days Dead. Yeah, so I don't have too much to say about it. I'm gonna check it out. It's, somewhat interesting. Tried to get my face right by the camera. Art's credit where credit is due, of course. By Cullen, Bunn, Brian Hurt, and Bill Crabtree. And let's see what
the synopsis, and this is the abridged version from Wikipedia, says that The Damned is set in Prohibition era in a city where demonic crime families vie for human souls. Eddie Tamblyn, the narrator, is a man cursed to return from the dead. Whoever touches Eddie while he's dead assumes his fatal wounds and Eddie's resurrected. Because of his unique abilities, Eddie often finds himself being used by the crime families for their own ends.
Yes. So if you like mafia stories and you like demons, go read it.
And give me your opinion on this. The main character almost looks a little bit like Keanu Reeves in Constantine.
Okay. Minus the scars, I guess.
Yeah, there's a resemblance.
Yeah.
Or let's put it this way: tall and skinny, white men.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna say the Keanu Reeves looks slightly better than this guy. Not even with the scars. It's the nose, and I can say that as a person with a big nose. I can make fun of other noses, but this guy has what?
Can you make fun of people with big noses?
Yeah, as a fellow big noser.
This was actually written, or I should say, perhaps released. The first issues in October of 2006, so it's not a new story. The first arc, if you will, was 06 to 08, and then it was picked up again, same creative team, in May of 2017. The original, The 3 Days Dead, believe it or not, DreamWorks optioned The Damned for a film in 2008 to be written by David DeGilio. May or may not be pronouncing that right. Don't care. And a few years after that, in August 2011, Showtime bought the rights to adapt the comic book into a television series. And David Hayter was brought on at that time to write it. Obviously, none of those things ever happened.
Yeah. Well, we can just discuss this on the podcast, but I'm curious about how often that happens where somebody buys the rights to a comic book, because you would think it would happen a lot more. And I'm not talking about like DC Marvel. I'm talking just somebody goes in there and finds, like stuff like The Damned, where it's, it's not a huge, publication.
Well, I know it was joked about almost 20 years ago in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. When Blunt Man and Chronic were being optioned by Miramax, and they said, yeah, every comic book property is being, the studios have, gobbled up all the IPs. So it's not a new phenomenon. I'm actually surprised that some of them, perhaps, the term, I think it's pre-production hell or production hell, maybe, where they just they have an idea, somebody offers a script, and it sits in there for a little bit, I don't know, and then nothing ever happens. Like we've talked about, like Paper Girls is a fun, set in the 80s type of, could be a Stranger Things type of series, and we've not, I've not heard of any optioning. We'll look it up. We'll have an answer for that on the podcast here in a few minutes. Speaking of, I guess we should go record the podcast then, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, people, if you're watching this, you should have already liked and subscribed. You should have done that already. I guess you can do it now. Well, a little late, but go ahead.
I was almost going to do thumbs down, but that's kind of productive.
No, don't give us a thumbs down. Give us a thumbs up. Yeah.
Didn't even look. Anyway, the digital background's throwing me off. Mike, thank you, sir. And everybody else watching, yes, please subscribe, comment, share it on your social media so that others can find it. That's how we're going to help get to the next tier of subscribers that are going to cost me a shot. This time it's going to be a shot. It's not going to be a glass. So we are Nerds United on YouTube. I am Greg Dex These Halls Mahachko. He is the co-host of the year, Mike Luther. And we'll see you next time. So be kind.
And rewind.